Welcome to our Angola downtown revitalization groundbreaking. This has been many years in the making. When our downtown leaders in the mid-1970s dreamed of a better tomorrow for downtown, I'm sure they thought that the process would be quick and painless. 35 years later, it hasn't exactly been quick, and our downtown will need our support in the coming months as this construction process goes. This revitalization project is a wonderful opportunity for our downtown to retain and grow business, improve safety, handicap accessibility, and aesthetics so our downtown will grow and remain a vital part of our community. I would like to introduce, and it is my pleasure to introduce, our Mayor Hickman.
This is an important occasion for our downtown. We are going to be showing everybody that we are working to make this a safer and friendlier atmosphere for those who are shopping or doing business in our downtown. It shows that investment in our downtown will allow growth for our businesses and hopefully will allow more investment by our store owners and building owners. For those driving through our community or thinking about investing in a business or industry in our community, it will show that we are a progressive community with an eye on the future. It will also show that we have a great amount of community pride that allows us to address our current needs as well. There will be a lot of changes made. With this project, we are going to do a better job through signage to show shoppers where all of our parking areas are behind our buildings. We will also be working with our store owners in situations where we can to make their back entrances as attractive as their front entrances so that shoppers can move in and out of their stores in an easier fashion. I don't know of any other project downtown since the erection of our monument behind us here of this magnitude. Angola will either move forward or it will go backward. But we need to remember how hard everyone works to make our downtown go from a great downtown to an even better downtown.
Downtown is going to remain open for business, and we hope that you'll do everything you possibly can to support our business owners as they provide so much for our community, and the heart and soul is downtown Angola. There we go. We all ready? Here, get up here. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right.
Well, we hope it means great things for the future for this community. We're doing this to invest in our downtown so that it'll be a better investment for retailers and our commercial people that want to do business downtown, and make it safer for all those that want to come shopping down here. This is kind of the city's neighborhood, the whole city, and they like coming down and they like walking around our mountain, and we think this will make it even nicer for them.
Well, I tell you, I'm really excited about it. I know they took away a couple parking spaces in each quadrant. However, I really think for the longevity of the downtown to be vital, they are really trying to bring in more retail, and we are trying to put this together so that it becomes a more mega point for the county, not just for the city.
The talks actually began when I came to town about 37 years ago. They were talking about trying to do something with renovating the downtown, revitalizing it, and different committees have come and gone over the years. I think Gary Crum and I are two of the last originals, because we were on those original committees, and finally came to fruition this year. Our planning director and economic development director, Julie Cole, a couple of years ago, I said, Julie, we got to get something done down here.
When I came on board full-time in 2006, again, the mayor brought up the community's desire to look into some time of like downtown revitalization study, and so I really went from there. It moved actually very quickly. We didn't want to waste any time. We realized that we have spent over 35 years discussing some type of improvement for downtown, and the last thing we wanted was another plan to sit on the shelf and not go anywhere. Actually, in 2005, I want to go back, received a partial grant from the Indiana Association of Cities and Towns to help us create the Downtown Action Agenda. It was really a broad-based plan for downtown and some items that we really needed to start focusing on. So that really kind of began the planning process for us. The Downtown 2020 plan was funded by a grant with the Office of Community and Rural Affairs. We received a grant in the amount of $50,000. And we obviously had the Downtown Action Agenda in our hands already, but we really needed something that was more action-oriented, that gave us activities and programs that we could implement. And that's where the Action Agenda really fell short. So in 2007, when we received the grant, we began the planning process in the end of 2007 and wrapped it up and adopted the Angola Downtown 2020 plan in May of 2008, which really gave us some clear goals and objectives for us to be able to fulfill for downtown. When we went through the planning process that created the Downtown 2020 plan, we solicited a lot of public input. We had public hearings. I remember one of the evenings at Cahoot's Coffee Cafe. I mean, it was packed. We had nearly 85, 90 people there from all walks of life within the community, as well as university students and high school students, really helping us to form the vision for downtown Angola. And throughout that process, there was a couple of drafts that were given because we had a steering committee made up of community representatives and business leaders, downtown business and property owners, and representatives from the Indiana Department of Transportation. It was crucial that we had their involvement, considering that we have a federal highway coming right through the middle of our downtown. So we had a lot of opportunity to review the plan before it was officially adopted by the Angola Common Council in May. The first major grant that we received for construction was from an Indiana Department of Transportation, what we call a Transportation Enhancement Grant. We applied for that towards the end of summer in 2008, and we were awarded a grant by the end of the year in 2008 in the amount of a little over $500,000. And that was really dedicated towards the construction of the medians on US Highway 20 and the north and south leg of Wayne Street. We also applied for an OKRA grant, which is through the Office of Community and Rural Affairs, and we were awarded a grant in the middle of 2009, and that was another $500,000. And our design team really worked hard working with OKRA and INDOT in terms of trying to combine the two grant awards with a project that was already on the books for INDOT, which was the resurfacing of US Highway 20. It really didn't make sense for INDOT to come in and resurface the road and then have the city come back in and tear up the new resurfaced road and install the medians. We wanted to really create efficiencies in terms of how we bid and let the project, as well as the construction season for the business and property owners downtown and the residents in the community to endure. Unfortunately, we were not able to get the two federal agencies to work together, which is kind of ironic because the Office of Community and Rural Affairs now has an initiative called the Stellar Communities Program that is really working together to combine the two federal agencies to see how they can become more efficient together. So I really feel that we have really led the way for them to really create this program that allows more efficiencies with local government, which is really what our taxpayers are expecting from us. So. Some of the biggest complaints that we had or concerns that we had about downtown were really found in some of the business and residential surveys that we conducted during the Action Agenda process in 2005 and 2006.
My thought was, boy, our people that have businesses downtown are going to have to be very patient. They weren't able to do something downtown, so they moved along, I thought, very quickly. The 2020 committee downtown and the Go Angola committees were very good at talking with each other and getting the information out as to what was going to be done on specific days. Actually, they tried to get them out a week ahead of time so that people could kind of plan on what to do with their businesses. We did everything we could to keep the businesses open during those construction periods. And you know, all in all, it went off without too many hitches.
For construction purposes, beginning in the downtown public square, we redid, it was basically a major streetscape improvement project. We removed the old crumbling sidewalks that had many liability issues and ADA issues for the city. We installed new trees that are appropriate for a downtown urban environment. We installed some raised planting beds, and we extended some of the curbing out to lessen the space where a pedestrian has to travel to cross the road and really protect the pedestrians as they're walking through the sidewalks. That began at the end of March and lasted until the first week of July, right in time for Angola's annual 4th of July parade, which is very important that we had met that deadline so we can have our parade as people always look forward to every year. And technically, what we're looking at doing first of all is a traffic calming program, which will install a median, a landscaped median, all the way from the railroad tracks near the university going east to Martha Street, and one leg both going north and south on Wayne Street. The monument is absolutely the symbol of our town, and we focused it through the design of our entire project. Really wanted to keep it the focal point of our community as it should be.
They've called me up and asked, "Are you open?" Of course I'm open. Sure I'm open. But it's I only have the front entrance is my only way to get in the store. And luckily some people have back entrance. The majority of the people's opinions of what's going on has been positive.
The biggest concern overall was the amount of semi-traffic that was coming through our downtown and at the speed in which they traveled. Many people did not feel safe, some of the elderly residents and visitors to this community and families with small children. And we heard several statements over and over again that I will not shop in downtown Angola because I do not feel safe there because of the amount of traffic that we have. So that was our first and most immediate concern to try and alleviate, was the amount of traffic that was coming through downtown.
People crossing the streets and that want to do business in the downtown area. And another reason was to help revitalize our downtown as far as the investments that businesses and business owners want to make in our downtown area, to make it worthwhile for them to come downtown and to buy buildings and renovate buildings and to put businesses in them. It was just, there were some things that need to be changed.
The biggest problem we have downtown is trucks. I think everybody every day runs into problems with trucks downtown.
So we really had to work through really good design and how we can still accommodate the semi-traffic, however, don't necessarily need to make it so easy for them to come downtown. Really creating a balance between the residents, the shoppers, the business owners downtown, our community, as well as the semis that travel through downtown. We see an average of 1,500 to 1,600 semis coming through a day, and they're not local. It's not for local traffic or local deliveries. A great majority of it is just passing through.
The biggest problem we have downtown is parking, and it's really not the lack of parking, it's just that a lot of people just don't know where to park, where they should park.
We will see a little bit of a redesign with our parking areas. It's not going to be the same as it is now. We may lose a couple of spaces per quadrant, but we feel the benefit far outweighs the underutilized and, in my opinion, dangerous parking spaces that we do have on the very edges of the perimeter of the current parking conditions.
The project definitely affected business at the beginning when they had started with the whole process, and it did take away a lot of the parking in front of my store, and it did close off that area, which was definitely hard to handle. And to get people to know that we do have parking in our back, and we also have an entrance. So that took a while to get our customers informed about that. But now that the quadrant is starting to finish up and the parking is now open, it definitely has picked up.
No, I don't think we really had any major problems. A result of the community outreach that we had and the interest we had to invest in our downtown. We're really just trying to lay down the foundation for additional investment to occur. And I think that's, an appropriate role for the city of Angola to be involved with. And we have been seeing some public response to our downtown investment, and with additional buildings being purchased and with new businesses being opened, really seeing some transition there. Several years ago, the City of Angola established a Historic Preservation Commission, which was based upon the recommendations found in the Downtown Action Agenda. And part of their agenda was to get the City of Angola downtown on the National Register of Historic Places. It's my understanding that we have a couple of structures in Angola that are on the National Register or within Steuben County, but we thought it was vital to be able to get our downtown commercial historic district on the National Register. And we expect that process to be completed and will be officially accepted in January of 2011.
It's going well. I don't think there'll be a problem with the deadline the way it looks. I know that most of the, from what I've talked to, the merchants are pretty happy with it. The brick looks beautiful that they've laid. It's going to be really nice when the landscaping gets done, and we're hoping that'll all be done by July 4th. So everybody, when they come down to the parade, they can enjoy it and see it. There'll be tables and chairs and benches added, and trash receptacles, and I think there's some planters that will even be in the end added. The city is still raising money for those things. They're not all paid for.
My name is John Gerst, and I work with Paragon Landscape. We're out here helping the city of Angola out with their community planting day. Basically, the city got together with the Chamber of Commerce and found some funding that put in the plants. And so we're here just wrapped up with the shrubs and some of the mulching, and we're waiting on the perennials. It's been a really good turnout. We had some great support from a lot of people in the community. Different people that maybe have interest in seeing the city improve its appearance. I think different people are coming for different reasons, but all in all, some good attitudes and a lot of great help.
Hi, I'm Mike Martirello. I'm the editor of the Herald-Republican here in downtown Angola. I personally have been involved with the downtown planning process since late 2005, when it started with the Hyatt Palma Group, and then evolved into what it is today. This project, in my opinion, can only make a good downtown or a great downtown better. It's going to be a much more pleasing place to have public events. The Go Angola Downtown Alliance is really doing a great job of coming up with things to do this summer, and it's going to be a really nice atmosphere. I think it'll help attract new businesses, perhaps more retail and more hospitality type businesses. It's just going to be great. Last week, I noticed a couple out taking pictures of our building and some of the other buildings, the courthouse, the monument, and I stepped outside to say hello, and they said to me, they said, you have such a beautiful downtown. It's so unique with the circle. The buildings are very well maintained. You have 2 old movie theaters that are in operation. And I said, and we're under destruction. And they said, yeah, you're under construction, but this is a really neat downtown. They were from Chicago, and they decided to get off the beaten path and take the slow road on their way to Pennsylvania. and they were just in love. They just fell in love with our little downtown, and it is cool. It is cool.
When we did move here, my goal in life was to own an art studio. And growing up here, I had always thought that this would be the best place to bring some art culture into the city. And I was so excited to bring my business here because I think the downtown is so unique and I think it has a lot to offer in its own beauty. And I feel like this whole downtown revitalization project is just going to add to that. And I'm very fortunate and thankful to be a part of the business here.
And I really hope that people that, whoever sees this or hears this, don't forget about us down here. We are your brick and mortar, and we are here to stay. And the only way that we can stay is for the people to continue to come down. I love Walmart, I love Myers, and I go to those stores too, but really we need to support our local people because that's the uniqueness that this town has, and I would hate to see that go away.
What's special about downtown Angola, in my opinion, is the people. There's no question. It's nice to know everybody, to see people you recognize, you may know by name.
When people return to Angola in 2011, when we finish up the resurfacing of US Highway 20 in early spring, and we really see our plants come back to life, I really want them to have some additional pride in their community.
We feel that we did the best that we could for wanting to create safety and create a new beauty for our downtown and a better place to invest for the businesses and without having to use a lot of local tax dollars.
There's a new horizon for downtown Angola, and this is just the beginning.
We have, in Angola, we have more to offer than anybody else in the state of Indiana. And there's nothing better than Angola, Indiana.